everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. So for today's video, I wanted to show you how to create this really delicious and gluten-free banana bread muffins. These are pretty much what I've made, like a banana bread loaf, but I made it into a muffin or cupcake kind of form. I feel like these are really good because sometimes you just want to be able to take your treat and head out the door, or you just want a little bit and you don't want to have to grab a whole bunch and feel guilty afterward. And these are really delicious. So these are made with bananas, with coconut oil. They're gluten-free. So I'm using today almond flour and hazelnut flour, and they're so good. So if you'd like to see how to make this recipe right here, don't forget to subscribe down below and keep on watching. Okay, so to get started today, the first thing you want to do is you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I already have my oven on and I have it preheated, so it's getting pretty warm in the house, which is also a really great plus for baking in the cold season as we are in now. So what we're going to be needing for today is some hazelnut flour. This I recently just got and I included it into this recipe, and I feel like it just gives it a nice little, like, kind of really nutty, really good flavor along with the banana, so I really recommend it. If you don't want to use hazelnut flour, if you don't have it, you can definitely just use almond flour. I haven't tested it with other flours per se. You can use regular flour because again I am gluten-free, so I'm going to be using hazelnut flour for today along with almond flour. So once again, if you don't have hazelnut flour, you could use almond flour. That's the recipe that I've done a few times just with almond flour, and it's come out really delicious as well. I just really like the combination of the both with the bananas. So almond flour, you're gonna just need a mixing bowl. You're gonna be needing some sugar, some coconut oil. You're gonna need measuring spoons, measuring, little scoops, as well as a measuring cup, preferably 2 cups to 2.5 cups. A masher just so you can mash the bananas. You're going to be needing some baking soda, some cinnamon, some sea salt or regular salt if you have. I have also some foil baking cups, and these are really great because these are double lined, so you have the liner itself and then the foil, so you can peel back the foil and you still have a really nice crisp muffin or cupcake. These are really highly recommended. Also going to be needing about 2 to 3 bananas, preferably 3. That's what I usually use in this recipe. So I have 3 here, and then I have 1 extra one, so 4 together. And the one that I have extra, I'm going to be cutting up and using it to garnish on top. And you're going to be needing 2 eggs. And last but not least, you can either have a tray like this that's disposable that you can just buy in the supermarket, or if you have an actual cupcake tray, you can use that as well. So to get started first, we're going to start with the bananas. Okay, so I'm going to take 3 of the ripest bananas that I have, and I'm going to go one by one and just start peeling them, and see how ripe they are. They're just literally falling apart. So I'm going to just peel off the skins and just throw them right in there, right into your bowl. Okay, so again with the next one, again just peel off the skin, and it's just coming right off because again it's that ripe. And honestly, when it's this ripe, it's so nutritious. So putting it into a recipe like this, I mean, more the reason to eat treats, I would say. And then last but not least, the last one. Okay, just peeling off the peel once again and throwing it right into the bowl. Okay, you want to get all the goodness in there. Okay, so now with the masher, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mash up the bananas. Okay, and they should be pretty easy to mash, especially since they're so ripe. You don't want to use bananas that are not as ripe because you can use them, but the recipe might be not as sweet, and it's just not going to be a soft enough batter for what we're doing today. Okay, so at this point you should have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And that's good because you want it to really get nice and warm in there. That way when you throw the cupcakes, the muffins in there, they're going to be ready to go. And this is what it should look like. It should look nice and mashed and really just ready to go. Okay, so I'm just going to place that aside for now. Okay, so now we're going to add a 1/3 cup of coconut oil. So this is what makes it dairy free for this recipe, because we're using the coconut oil. We could be using dairy, like a milk, or we could be using butter, but instead we're going to be using a 1/3 cup of coconut oil. So this is going to make the recipe dairy free. So this is really great for those of you that are dairy free as well. So I'm just going to open this up, and I have my 1/3 cup measuring scoop right here. So I'm just going to take a 1/3 cup of coconut oil just put it in there. And now right now it's pretty firm because of the weather, so it's keeping it nice and chilled. But if you have it melted, you know, or halfway there, it's fine as well. Okay, so now we're gonna add the 1/3 cup of coconut oil into our bowl. Okay, so just dump it all in there. It'll get nicely combined. And you're not gonna taste such a strong coconut oil taste when you're baking with coconut oil. Don't be scared to use coconut oil. Coconut oil is still healthy for you and it's such a great supplement. And it's gonna really go well with all your baking. Next, you're gonna be using 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, so again, I measured out a cup of almond flour. So the almond flour I'm gonna pour right in there. Okay, just get it all in there. And then I'm gonna drop in a 1/2 cup of the hazelnut flour. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just mix everything together. And I find that it's best to just mix this like I am doing now in a bowl or using your hands. There's no need to really be using an electric mixer or, you know, a KitchenAid mixer. I feel like this is just fine. It's not a really kind of like thick recipe or a thick batter that you have to put into the mixer. You can just mix it by hand and get a little workout in. Once you mix it all together, it should look just like this. Okay, so now we're just gonna add a little pinch of salt. So what I like to do is I like to just kind of smash a little bit in there. That's more than enough. Okay, so after you've added a dash of salt, you're going to be adding 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So I've opened up the cap and I'm just getting it right inside and then just measuring it right in there and then putting it all over. And the cinnamon in this is just, it just really complements, again, all the flavors really well and just really makes such a difference in the recipe. You're also going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is optional, you don't have to use it, but I feel like adding this into the recipe just really brings out the vanilla flavor and everything. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. It really helps to just bring that really nice rich flavor all together. We're going to be using 1/2 cup of sugar. So I'm going to just open this up. Take my 1/2 cup scoop once again. Pour it right into here. And you can omit this if you don't want it to be too sweet. But you know, the way I've been doing it is with a 1/2 cup of sugar and I really like it. Okay, so just add about a 1/2 cup of sugar in there. Okay, place that aside. And then last but not least is gonna be the 2 eggs. So we're gonna add the 2 eggs right into the recipe. Okay, so there goes 1 egg. Make sure not to get any shells in there. And here goes the other egg that was trying to get away, but I got it. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now that everything is together, you can just, again, mash it all up and combine everything really well. I feel like this personally is a great recipe because this is something that just uses 1 bowl. You're just throwing everything into 1 bowl, mixing it all together, and that's it. You know, there's no 12 bowl or mixing this and then mixing that and then combining that. It's just all together. And I like to mix it with my masher because I make sure that everything is really nice and smooth. There's no clumps at all. This is what it should look like when you're done mixing everything together. Okay, so it's a nice loose batter. It's not too thick, not too liquidy. It's just right in between. Okay, so I'm going to tap off all the excess and then I'm going to pour it into the muffin pan. Okay, so I'm actually going to be taking the last banana that I had there and peeling it up. Taking off the peels. Okay, and I'm going to just place it onto a cutting board. And it's okay if it breaks up. I mean, it's very ripe again, so don't worry about that. So what I want to do is I want to just take some good pieces in here and just do like little cuts, little slices. And these little cuts are ones that I really want to add into the banana itself. Okay, so I'm going to just place aside. So I'm basically just cutting aside the good pieces. Okay, it doesn't have to be much because we don't have a lot of muffins we're doing. Okay, just like that. And then whatever's left over, you can definitely enjoy it as well. So I'm going to place that aside and have it ready. Okay, so I'm taking my muffin trays. I'm just placing them out. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill them with these are the Reynolds Kitchen Foil Baking Cups. This is what it looks like right here. They're really, really good. I really, really highly recommend them. They're really amazing. Again, because they're double lined. So I'll show you guys right now. When you take them out, it's 2 pieces. So you have a slider. I took them off. That one came off with it. So you have the liner, which is the white part right here, and then you also have the foil. So you have 2 of them. So once you take off the foil, you still have that liner really nicely hugging the muffin or the cupcake. And again, this is going to make sure that it cooks really nice and sturdy, and it's not going to get stuck to the liner as sometimes other muffin, you know, or cupcake holders may. So I'm going to just put this right into each of them. Okay, so now that I've prepared my muffin tins with the liners as well, I'm going to take the batter, just give it a nice little stir once again, and then carefully scoop it into each little muffin holder right here. About 2 scoops will be good. And now, last but not least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab a little banana piece that we cut before and place it right in the center. Okay, and I think this is just a cute little touch just to kind of add to it. You don't have to do this. This is totally optional, but again, because I had the banana there, I figured why not add it into it. That way, when people grab it, they know, okay, this is banana bread muffin. They know what they're going to be eating right away. So this is what they look like right now. So once they come out the oven, they're going to be nice and warm. I've just placed them on a tray, that way they can cool really, really well all throughout. And again, don't forget to bake them at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the oven that you have and again, the doneness of your batter. So I hope that you guys enjoy this recipe. Please be sure to let them cool before you dig in. And don't forget that this is a banana bread recipe. So it's going to be a little bit more moist than a usual muffin would be, let's say. If you've enjoyed this recipe, please don't forget to subscribe down below. Give me a big thumbs up, that way I know that you like this recipe. And until next time, remember to always create a life that you love.